G'day all, I'm Graham Sanders and I live at Townsville, North Queensland. That's where latitude 19 crosses the east coast of Australia. Let's talk about phorid fly traps and control, and why we sometimes get plagues of them. You'll see in this hive I've had to close up the entrance because I've got phorid flies. Yet, on other hives, and I'll just quickly walk over here, they don't exist. It's just as if nothing has happened. And I've had to set a phorid fly trap, and to give you an idea of how many flies are around that one hive, here is what I've captured in only an hour and a half from setting up the trap. I have got them in just plague proportions. So, there's a number of things to discuss. I'll hop down from here first and then we'll talk about it. Let's talk about why we've got a plague of them around at the moment. Well, basically anywhere around the world, if you've got a period of dry and then followed by a sudden intense wet, everything hatches. In North Queensland, we've had 9 months of utterly no rain. And over the last 5 days, the heavens have opened up and it's bucketed down. I think about 4 to 6 inches have come down. The ground is saturated. Oops. And what that leads to is insects that have been dormant for so long explode in numbers. So you see mosquitoes explode in number, ticks explode in number, and flies explode in number. And in particular, phorid flies, the enemy of native bees. And in this hive, it's well under attack, as you can see. So, this is normal. What isn't normal is why they're attacking this hive and not my other hives. And as I pan back, oh, hang on. Trying to do this without falling over. This hive is positioned near an air conditioner down here, and the lines are very moist and soddened from condensation over the years. And I wonder if this moist, sodden lines with the insulation all moist is attracting the flies to this one hive. Now, is that a good thing or a bad thing? Well, to me it's a good thing, because it means that the flies are not attacking my other hives. So I can concentrate on my phorid fly control on this hive alone. Now, if you've only got one hive and getting attacked, you may want to look at moving the hive. But I'm happy to use this hive as a bait hive, if you want to call it, for phorid flies. So that way I can keep them under control. So the first thing you've got to do is have a management strategy and a trap. So the management strategy is to stop new flies coming in. As you can see there, they're all over the place. But get any flies inside out. So you seal up the entrance and you only open it up periodically, say 5 minutes every half an hour, to let the foraging bees in and any bees out. You also open it up just for 5 minutes because phorid flies that have got into the hive will want to get out again. So that's the first bit we do. So to do this, we've got to somehow chase these flies away, and I'll try to do this. Get the flies away, which I seem to have done. I open it up, allow, oops, sorry about that. I'm allowing the bees, occasional fly will get in, doesn't matter, I just squashed one then. I get quick at doing this sometimes. So once I've got some of the bees in, kept the flies out, I seal it up again. And I'll keep doing that. And the whole aim is to keep the flies out, allow the bees to do a bit of work, and any flies inside are allowed to escape. Now, that leads to the second question. What do you do with the flies all around the place? Well, you've got to make a trap, haven't you? And as I walk around the back of the hive, that's the trap I've made. And as you can see, it's just a plastic soft drink bottle, a liquid in the bottom, some holes just above the liquid, and it's full of flies and some black tape around it. So let me pull that out and we'll discuss that. Okay, so there's the trap. Only 4 holes in it. The first question you ask is, why is a little bit of black tape around each hole? Well, phorid flies are attracted to dark openings, and if you put a bit of tape around each hole, that attracts them into the bottle. If you just leave the holes there, they'll go in, but at much lower numbers. But if you can put the tape there, it attracts them in. They just want to go in and investigate. Now, what is that liquid? It is 1 part vinegar to 4 parts water. Now, this is important about the water. It must be clear of chlorine or chloramides. If it's chlorine, just boil the water, let it cool. If it's chloramides, you've got to put a Camden tablet into it to get rid of the chlorine out of it, or use bottled water. No chlorine should be there. Now, why vinegar? Well, vinegar is just an acid, and when things are decomposing, the bacteria releases acid, and maggots help that process along. So when you have an acid, and it can be lactic acid in there instead of vinegar, which is acetic acid, but the acid tells the flies that there's something in here that's decomposing. It must be good for the flies. The other thing you put in is a tiny amount. Well, I only put about 1/8 of a teaspoon of native bee honey in there. If you can't get native bee honey, just ordinary honey is fine. That does 2 things. It gives the scent of a beehive, which is attracting the phorid flies, and the sugar in the honey tells the phorid flies that there's still food available, so it's worth investigating. If not to lay eggs, at least to get a feed of whatever's rotting. So it tricks the phorid flies into coming in. Finally, how long do we do this for? We do this until the phorid fly numbers come down to a dull roar. So at the moment, you can see from the entrance here, still heaps of phorid flies going around. Same procedure as before, chase the flies away, open this up about every half an hour, open it up for 30 seconds to a minute to allow things to get in that are outside and flies that are inside to get out. And we keep doing that for the next day or 2 until these numbers drop right off. So that's it. Prevention is better than cure. And has it worked? Well, it's 5 days later. It's early morning, and this is one of the main activity times for phorid flies. As you can see, the affected hive is totally unaffected now. Phorid flies are gone, the bees are just back doing what they are doing. And where is the trap? As I pull back, you can see it sitting on top of the hive. 2 other things to forewarn you on, or to let you know, if you're worried about ants, set the trap on a water bath. That keeps the ants at bay because they love it as much. And what if you can't get vinegar and native bee honey? Well, you can use something else. And that something else is beer. In this container, I've got beer that was allowed to stand for about 3 days. As a result of standing for 3 days, the bacteria makes it go acidic. And what's the result of it? When it goes acidic, it attracts, as you can see there, flies. So, can't get vinegar? Let beer stand for a few days, it goes acidic, and it will also attract the flies just as well. Trap's done its job, it will go today, and we'll be back to normal bee routine.